We need to unpack. I don't know if I want to unpack Evan's Purdue hate.
I don't get it.
Why is it so strong?
You don't get it?
I don't get why Evan. Well, my question, because
the obnoxious fan base that thinks they are the prime of everyone's favorite this year. They think everybody should just bow down and beg to Zach Edey's feet. Like how good this team is.
I want to say
they bitch and moan when we hate on them. But their program right now would be absolutely nothing without Zach Edey.
There's a weird trend of Evan despising like really good big men in college basketball.
Zach Edey's too for saying I came from nothing. He was a 7'4" freak, and he played at IMG.
Okay, what do you have against really good college basketball players?
Zach
you don't like Caitlin
really
Clark
college
either.
Basketball player. I never said I didn't like Caitlin Clark.
Okay, but you just said Zach Edey's not a really good basketball player. You just said Zach Edey is not a really good basketball player.
Correct. He only does one thing. He only has one move in the paint. It's the same right-handed hook shot over and over and over again. So was lucky. He was born lucky to be 7'4".
So he's not really good.
To his point.
Okay.
Basketball-wise, he's not very good. He's just big. And Matt Painter can, you know what.
But isn't there something, Evan, to the fact that like he at least he knows what he's good at? I feel like he does a good job of like sealing, and he's good at not following. He's good at being a little.
You simply can't be as good as he is and be unathletic.
He's
got good coordination. He's got good hand-eye coordination for a guy that big.
He throws pretty well for a guy that big.
He can't use his left hand around the rim. Okay, so he can only use one hand. He would like never drop hooks left. He never goes left.
If he doesn't have to, though.
Andre Drummond never did.
Because he can't. That's why.
Do we know that?
Yes, we do know that.
But here's the thing, though, Evan.
Okay, Alex, this is what
if he was on your team, you'd
every time he does a right-handed hook shot.
He would.
And then drink a shot of water every time he does a left-handed hook shot.
I don't
see which bottle empties first.
My question was, is he capable of doing it? Like, does he do it in practice? My guess would be probably he can.
Yeah, with nobody on him. When all of his teammates are sitting there. Yes.
Is he average? If you made him 7 foot instead of whatever he is he?
If I made him, whose size do we want to make him? Whose size do we want to make him?
I just said make him 7 foot instead of 7'4".
How big though? 300 pounds, or he's down to like 270.
Proportionately moves with the height.
He is an average 7-footer that nobody really talks about. That's it.
So you just think he stinks?
Here's what I thought about a little bit, though.
He's 7'4" and 325 pounds.
But he had to work to get to 325 pounds.
I don't think he did.
He was skinny, and he put on a bunch of weight.
He was a little bit. I have a question. I'm too young, but I was thinking about this, like, when this player that I'm about to name was going through college and early in his career. What was the discourse around him? I feel like it wasn't like this. I'm just confused at why it's like this for some big guys and not for others. I generally don't know. But I feel like the whole Shaquille O'Neal was the conversation around him. He's just big. Like, that's why he's good. Or I'm just trying to figure out the layers of like what makes a tall, big man a fun basketball player and what makes them where people are just like, he's only good because he's big. Because there's a lot of players in sports that are only good.
Shaquille O'Neal was an athletic specimen when he was in college.
Shaq could like dribble and pass. That is true.
Okay.
And defend a little bit better. Like if you watch Shaq's college highlights compared, obviously when he
runs downhill,
huge.
Like he slams in transition. Like Edey's not really like that. He can't really run.
He does the same one over and over again.
I'm trying to think of someone who was like Edey.
Like DK Metcalf? Like people always say he's just good because he's big.
The NBA is different now. You're like Zach Edey's never going to play a minute in the NBA.
He'll play a minute. He'll play at least 1 minute.
I've been wondering about that. Like, will we start going a little bit bigger?
Because he can't shoot and he can't defend. So, like, there's no purpose of him.
Someone will have him.
He can't stand in the paint on defense. There's 3 seconds. He can't stand in there. He actually has to guard somebody.
He probably would.
He can't rotate in time. He's not fast enough because NBA players are way faster than the college scrubs that he plays.
In the modern NBA, he probably doesn't work.
But
it's true.
if I could envision him in a role where, like, if you put him in against a team that doesn't have a good big shooting three, and you just put him in off the bench, and he was like a 6-minute spark and scored you like 6 or 8 points, because I still don't think people are going to be able to affect him that maybe a little bit more, but like if you put him in the post against Chet Holmgren, he can score on Chet Holmgren. It was a back and down goal.
Yeah, but Chet will score every single time.
Yeah, but I mean,
Chet just shoot threes.
Like you put Zach Edey on Jalen Duren, he's going to score over him. So I still think he can play at that level. I don't think he's going to be a starter by any means. But
I think Jalen Duren can just dribble around him. Simply dribble. He can't stand in the paint for 3 seconds, though. That's the thing. Like, he has to get above the free throw line. He has to be outside the block.
I don't know how I got to Evan's side here, but like, I do not think Edey can play in the NBA. I do think he's a very good basketball player.
I don't think he's
that one Boban dude plays in the NBA. Zach Edey's better than him.
No, Edey will play minutes in the NBA. He's not going to be some
Luke Garza got drafted.
I don't think he will.
He'll get drafted.
He'll be on a summer team.
Sure.
He'll be a two-way contract.
He'll be in Europe or China and Canada in a couple years. He'll be on the Canada Olympic team. He'll be like, oh my God, do you remember Zach Edey in 3 years from now?
I think I'd rather have Zach Edey.
I don't think we're just going to forget the two-time. Kyle Filipowski better fits the NBA, and that's unfortunately the fact.
Not on my team. I'm taking Zach Edey.
This is just like Luka Garza. And then he's out.
Zach Edey's a little bit better at defense than Luka Garza.
Is he?
I don't know. Evan, the main points here, I have 2 questions for you to try to understand more at the root of this. If he was on Michigan State and you guys were in the Final Four, would you love him?
Yes.
Yeah, I probably would. Well, I don't think I would be blind to the fact that he's a good basketball player.
He is good, Evan. He is good.
A basketball player. So the whole game of basketball, you think he's good at a lot of things that he does. A lot of things of basketball.
The things he is good at. He is good at
catching a ball to people superior, smaller than him because of genetics, and he's good at doing a right-hand hook shot.
He has good center abilities.
He's good at doing a right-hand hook shot, correct. Yep.
He's good at rebounding, dunking.
He's good at being taller than everybody so he can reach for the ball. Yep.
He's good at getting position inside. He's good at catching passes. He has good soft hands for a big. He's better than our bigs, Evan. He catches passes.
He's good at position inside because you can't play defense on him because you have 3 lefts down there blowing their whistle and blowing something else.
And he's objectively pretty good at free throws for a center.
He is
really good.
He's he's decent at free throws. He's like 70-something% shooter, so it's not a hacky anymore.
His shot nice. looks like a pretty good basketball player.
Looks like he doesn't know how to hold on to a basketball, so.
His hands are massive, so it's probably difficult.
It's actually not. Evan, it's actually easier to hold on to a ball if they're smaller.
Is it easier to shoot a tennis ball or a basketball?
Tennis ball. I could chuck it way much farther.
But not with as much accuracy.
Just shoot it would be a basketball, I think.
A basketball, correct.
Question number 2, Evan.
But you said hold on.
You mentioned in the beginning.
I said shoot.
You said hold on to it, then you changed it to shoot.
No.
About
run it back. Chat.
Brent will.
Clip it.
Throw the flag.
What is it? Challenge flag?
Instant replay.
Yep, they're all.
Probably Geico. You mentioned Purdue's fan base.
They suck.
Let me paint a hypothetical world for you. What if Purdue's fan base didn't try to get everyone to like Zach Edey, and they're like, yeah, you know what? He's kind of a cheat code. It is what it is. We're just excited to have him on our team. Do you feel like you'd be you'd have less animosity in your heart?
Yeah, if they would just be truthful with themselves of like.
Evan wants someone to say he's bad.
Well, okay, so semantics. What can
I want Purdue fans to admit that they are going to suck next year. They would suck currently without him.
Yeah, but Evan, that's not how it works.
Yes, it is.
What if they become?
What if they become a good? You can't do hypotheticals. You can't do what ifs because we never talk about what ifs in sports.
I'm just saying, he is on the team. So why do they need to admit that they would be?
But he was on the team 3 years ago and he couldn't make the Final Four. He was on the team 2 years ago, couldn't make the Final Four. He was a starter on the team. They lost to a 16 seed last year. So what's the difference?
That's a testament, though, that he's gotten better. Like he's become a lot better player over his 4 years. Like, he was not nearly as good as he was.
He improved his right-hand hook shot. I agree.
Do people just come in as superstars and then they don't get any better? Like, that's the whole point of college basketball, developing. Not really anymore.
He's extremely
That
overrated.
was the whole thing.
This was another point, too.
I don't get how he can be overrated.
It reminded me of, like, everyone... It's like, be careful what you wish for, because a lot of people will gripe that the one and done era is kind of diluting college hoops with the turnover of players. You don't get attached to the rivalries. But then I've seen a lot, even from like Marissa and my sister too this weekend. They're like, oh, like, can Zach Edey just graduate? Like, it's his 5th year, whatever. I looked it up. I was like, he's just a 4-year senior. He just simply went to school for the amount of years he's allowed to go, and he's going to be done after this year. It's like,
that's fine.
It's crazy that when someone actually goes...
It's cruel that
he didn't even take
drug
one,
test him,
which is crazy.
When that picture came out of him in the smoke shop, criminal.
That's not him.
I think it was. It was definitely
fake. Okay, finding our 7'4" kid that has eyes.
Did you see the one of him at the party going into the
room with a 5'4"?
That was a crazy video. That was a crazy video. And all the girls in their back were like, mouths were open, like, oh, like, did you see that? Poor guy. He can't be like discreet in public whatsoever.
What is his proper rating? If he's overrated, what is
his 65 overall in 2K?
For college.
No, Evan, I actually enjoy that you hate him because that's part of sports. My question, though, is the semantics of good player. Can we call him a great asset to have on your team? Are you cool with that? He's a great asset to have.
He's an asset. That's a yes.
He's a cheat code.
He's an asset. It's the only way Evan will go.
He's a great asset, Zach Edey. You can't say player. You can say he's a great asset to have.
Here's a better question.
He's a winning player. Not good.
Here's a better
winning
question
player.
to find
He's not a winning player.
If you put...
He had 40 in the Elite Eight game.
No, Grant, shh. If you put Zach Edey instead of Matty Sissoko on Michigan State...
We have a worse record, actually.
Oh, you can't say that.
Clip that. You guys would be in the title game. Give me a break.
Not with AJ Hogarth trying to dribble up the ball.
AJ wouldn't have to play.
Yeah, he wouldn't. You wouldn't even need him. Like you said, Purdue has doesn't have a team.
They don't have a team.
They do, though. No, they're not deep. But what I will say to defend them, you have me interested in their season next year. I have a suspicion that these guards are better than we think. I think they just do a really good job of playing in the system. And they I've never seen a team, this is stupid inside basketball, but so good at entry passes to the post. And they know exactly what they're doing. And I think he's so big, but they're so good. They never throw him low. They're good at the fake and then snap it into him right in his chest so he can go up.
100% on passes if a 7'4" guy was standing 8 feet from you. It buried in the middle of the paint because a 3-second violation isn't real. And the guy that's guarding him is a shadow behind him.
No, I know, Evan, because I watched Dickinson, and he's not as big, but he's a similar presence on the court. And we used to throw passes at his ankles, and he dropped them out of bounds. This Purdue team is fundamentally, it is impossibly good at their fundamentals.
Great. And I am excited. It's a win-win to throw the ball into Edey. It's a win-win. One,
because he's a good player.
It's great asset. Foul called. Great asset. Foul called. It's like we're going to war. You would rather have him on your team than have to face him. That's basically what it is. It's probably going to be a foul call if you throw the ball into a post. Okay, he catches it. Okay, now you run. You have hover the 3-point line. Just change positions because they're going to double team. 2, he attempts a shot. It's probably going to be a foul call. Okay, if no foul is called, there is a significant chance that he makes it if he's within, I think it's like 8 feet off the rim.
And if he misses, rebound. He gets a lot of those.
He can just push off because they won't call it on him.
Yeah, I'm jealous of him. I wish my team had him.
I'm going to file to be the ref in the Final Four on Saturday. You know how many times you're going to see a 3-second violation?
He avoids those, though, Evan. He's actually really
nimble on his feet to get out of the lane. If they would actually he doesn't. No. There's so many clips that you could call 3 seconds.
He steps out.
Okay, but just because he has the ball doesn't mean you reset the 3 seconds. As soon as you have the ball, it's still 3 seconds are still going on.
I think Luke. I don't know, man. What I think
because I started betting on him. I've got a newfound appreciation for how dominant they are with him. It's eye-opening. To exit our Final Four talk, I don't know if you guys want to give predictions. I have UConn, obviously, and Purdue. I think it's shaping up to be the ones playing, and I think UConn ultimately wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue won.
I'd be very surprised if Purdue won. I think UConn's guards are going to cook Purdue's guards in the championship game.
But what's impressed me, though,
15 plus, Evan says. 15 plus.
Purdue's
going to dominate that.
Purdue handled Tennessee's guards.
I put my entire account on UConn to win the national championship.
I don't think you should do that.
I 100%
That scares me.
Well, just financially, that's not very
my entire account, not my bank account. My entire.
Well, how much is in your account? $8.
Enough.
Pack of bubble gum?
No.
I think it's more likely for Alex. You always like to do this question. I think it's more likely UConn wins by 20 than loses to Alabama.
Yeah, I would agree.
100%.
For the semifinal game. What do you mean you agree? You talked earlier that you are not going to be surprised if they fall.
There's no way Connor thinks that.
In the title game, I think they could slip up in one of these two games. I don't think Alabama's going to win. I'm not dumb. But I do think they could make it interesting for a bit, maybe. I don't think they'll get murdered like Illinois. But I could be wrong.
There's some juicy odds right now for those that like to gamble. You can do alternate spreads here. Purdue -4.5 and UConn -6.5 is plus 103 together. I like that a lot.
$100.
That's probably will be what I bet. Purdue to win by 5, UConn to win by 7. See you on Monday night for the Battle of Goliath.
If Purdue wins the national championship, will you then declare Zach Edey a good college basketball player? Yes or no?
I don't have to worry about that because they're not going to win the national championship because Matt Payne will choke in pressure.
But if
absolutes, what did we say about speaking?
Alex, we're not allowed to do what ifs because he's actually not there yet. They're not in the national championship, not in the national championship yet.
That's on me.
They will be though. Sorry, DJ Burns, I love you. Sorry, Cleveland C, I love you. But
what's more likely, NC State wins or Alabama wins?
Bama.
NC State.
Ooh,
that's a good question. I'd say
I was
NC
thinking
State.
that the other day. I'm going to say Alabama, but I don't feel great about it.
Edey had the greatest game of his life, and they still almost lost.
But they didn't lose.
Correct. I'm not arguing the fact that they didn't lose, but I'm just saying that it was still a tight game down the wire.
NC State does not have
the greatest games of their life and barely win.
Yeah, but nobody else showed up for Tennessee besides Dalton.
Fair. Dalton. We got to find a Dalton this year.
Kid Dalton.